I think it's important to be able to show our free speech rights and to understand that nobody the opportunity.
Chaos in Denver. The woman's being interviewed by Denver 7, our affiliate. You heard the gunshot, and then police swarm. Our cameras are running over there as well as a protester is shot and killed by a man who apparently may be a security guard for a local news station as well. On the left, you see that's the victim, and it looks like he may be slapping this man. And then the bear spray or pepper spray is out, and the gun is out. The gun is fired. The man with the spray is shot and killed. He's not going to be able to say somebody else did it. He's charged with murder right now. So at trial, he's going to have to say self-defense. He's going to have to say it. I mean, that's your defense here. Look at what's going on. But is it justifiable? That was the question today for you, our 13th juror. And we begin with our comment of the day from John tonight. 13th juror, comment of the day. Whether licensed or not, the gunman should have identified himself verbally or through easily identifiable clothing as armed security well before any altercation. He clearly had the weapon concealed and did not present himself as hired security. Kyla, let me ask you, if in fact he's claiming self-defense, does he have to prove that he had to announce that he was armed before he brandishes the weapon and fires the weapon?
I'm sorry, Vinny, I want to answer your question, but I'm just not on his side. I know I'm a criminal defense attorney, but I just cannot get with what this individual did here. His contract was for him not to have a weapon at all, and he still decided to bring his weapon. And I feel like right now our country is a breeding ground for things like this to happen at different protests because they're allowing people to bring weapons and to get away with shooting protesters who are innocent.
All right, Brett tonight, in my humble opinion, justifiable if he felt there was a deadlier force coming next. Eklund, can you guess about what is coming next, and can that justify your use of deadly force?
Well, I could guess a lot of things. We have to guess all that. We can't do what possibly or the ghost of Christmas future. The issue is that what he had was spray, and you gave him a bullet. It's not even equal. It's not even on the same timeline. And then if I'm feeling attacked, so then I use the non-deadly spray, and then you then in turn shoot me without any identifiable evidence. Like, for what? Like, this is fear on steroids. This is bad. Is that when people should be able to use their right for free speech. They should be able to protest. They should be able to do that without fearing, people who have, delusions of grandeur that they want to be like Commando coming after them and shooting them dead. This is not good. I do not support any of this. I don't see a defense for this one. I really don't.
Rochelle tonight, not justified, as force was above and beyond what he was attacked with. Let me ask you this, Dave Arenberg, because to me the timeline's not 100% clear, okay? From the still photos that we've seen, it looks like the victim may have slapped or punched the defendant, and then we see a gun and we see the spray, whether it's pepper spray, mace, or bear spray. Different reports on different things. We don't know all the facts yet. If in fact the bear spray comes out before the gun comes out, is that enough to justify the use of deadly force here?
I don't think so, Vinny. I think here you have a gun versus pepper spray. And it's just not lethal force, the pepper spray. And therefore, I think that the charge will likely ultimately be manslaughter because the defendant was provoked. It looks like the guy with the pepper spray actually was the initial aggressor, but it still does not give a guy the right to go shoot someone dead unless that person believed reasonably that the other person had lethal force or his life was at risk. You don't reasonably believe that you're about to die from a squirt of pepper spray. So I think this case will go to trial. I just think that the jurors are unlikely to convict on homicide, on murder, more likely to convict on a manslaughter count.
All right, Kyla, I want you to listen to this next one. It comes from Stacy. Here's Stacy's comment tonight. The attacker does not have to have a lethal weapon for it to be justified. If he was reasonably in fear of his or others' lives being taken when he had the right to use lethal force. Bear spray or pepper spray can render a person defenseless when being attacked, which means his gun could have been taken and used against him. Let a jury decide after they examine the facts, though. Obviously, that's a great way to end it. But how about that theory that, listen, I'm defenseless once you hit me with the spray. You could take my gun and then kill me with my own gun. Does that make it justifiable?
I don't believe so. We see how quickly police officers were able to get to the scene exactly when it happened. So this individual could have, if he was slapped, he could have slapped the person back. He could have used his body or used his hands, but the police would have gotten there as quick as possible. My thing is, if you're going to be a security guard, if you're going to be a police officer, if you're going to go to protest, don't be afraid. Don't go there with a scared spirit or things like this that's going to happen.
Keith, tonight, I say not justified. Should have put one in his leg. And walked away till police came out and got him. Eklund, is that, I hear this a lot, by the way, in the comments. A lot of times, whether it's police or anyone else, when we're talking about using a gun, a lot of people say, why not shoot somewhere that is not deadly? Hit one in the leg. What do you think, Eklund?
Like, his voice box didn't work at this time. He couldn't call any of the people with the whole sheriff on their backs. He couldn't ask for assistance. He couldn't pull out his phone and recorded the situation. There's so many steps he missed before getting to the gun. I don't see it. It's unconscionable to say that any of that was justified is wrong. I don't see it. My issue is there were so many things. There were so many options he could have exhausted instead of shooting this man and like this man being dead right now. There's so many options.
Stephanie, in other words, this was just a mess between two regular citizens, and one citizen ended up dead. So the protester pepper sprayed the guy, and the guy shot him. The guy who they said wasn't licensed is in trouble because he shouldn't have had the weapon on him in the first place. Let me ask you, and I don't know exactly how the facts are going to play out with that gun, but is that an important consideration here, Dave, whether or not he legally had the gun or illegally was possessing the weapon?
Yeah, this harkens back to the Kyle Rittenhouse case over in Wisconsin, the 17-year-old who was possessing a automatic weapon and killed two people because he wasn't allowed to have that gun. He was underage. So it does go to the facts of the case when the question of whether or not he's allowed to have the weapon. If he was not allowed to have that weapon, that really hurts his case of self-defense. So, ultimately it's going to be up to the jury. I think the previous writer said that the jury will decide one way or another. And I just think because of the facts of this case and because times are so divided right now that I think it'll be tough to find a unanimous jury that will put this guy away for a long period of time. I think a prosecutor is going to have a tough time with this one.
All right. What a job by the think tank. Dave Arenberg, Kyla Coleman, Eklund Mercy, thank you so much. Please come back again. That'll do it for tonight. Don't forget, Supreme Court confirmation hearings, 9 o'clock. It all starts here on your front row seat to justice. Have a great night, and don't forget to hug the kids.